You want to start making films? Then let's start from today. What's up, friends and filmmakers? Today, I want to share an interview with one of the most influential filmmakers and my all-time favorite director, Christopher Nolan. I compiled these interviews because I believe there is so much to learn from his insights and experiences as a young filmmaker. Alright, let's start with number 5. So what is like to be a movie director? I think this is the very important topic. Before you start, you want to know which qualities you need as a filmmaker.
I enjoy the multifaceted nature of the challenge. I enjoy having to be an expert on a lot of different things, or having to pretend to be an expert on a lot of different things. One of the things I love about directing is you don't specialize. You have to be able to really think of all the different aspects of the film at the same time. It's also important to surround yourself with collaborators who can take the pressure off certain aspects of it, and casting is a huge part of that. You know, finding actors. Some of the great actors I've worked with on the Dark Knight trilogy, for example, who, you know, they would recognize that, yes, we're also having to worry about flipping this truck or blowing this building up, you know, whatever. And so their process would be balanced against that, and working with very generous performers was a big part of that. So I really do enjoy the challenge of putting together a lot of different aspects of one project, and trying to be in control of that. I mean, it's a really fun thing.
So how should you start your filmmaking career? Once you understand the nature of the job and ready to commit, you want to learn about the journey you're going through. But here's how Christopher Nolan began his filmmaking career.
I'm a self-taught filmmaker. I never went to film school. I never studied filmmaking in any way. I started making films when I was a kid, when I was, I think, 7 years old. Making films using my dad's Super 8 camera and little action figures, doing stop motion films, a little bit of animation and a certain amount of live action. And I just carried on making films as I grew up. And over the years they got bigger, hopefully better, but more elaborate. And there never really was a period in my life where I completely stopped doing that. So I was always moving up eventually from Super 8 to 16mm films. And then I think what following represents is kind of the peak of what I was able to do on my own or just with friends, just using our own resources and borrowing equipment and sort of using the things around us to make a film.
I think it was Stanley Kubrick who said the best way to learn how to make a film is to make a film, and I certainly found that to be the case. I didn't go to film school, and I just have always made my own films. I started at a young age, and when you're doing films just with friends with no money, you know, on a shoestring, you have to be able to do all the jobs, because when we made Following, for example, we were just shooting on Saturdays. We all had jobs in the week, and so not everybody would turn up, and sometimes you'd be recording sound and sometimes you'd be shooting the film, and you know, you really had to know a bit of everything, because you didn't quite know, you know, who your crew was going to be on the day, and it's a wonderful way to learn everything. And the larger the films have become, I think the more I've been able to appreciate the learning that I did by doing. And I know enough about every job on set to sort of be a pain in the arse to everybody. You know, just enough to not say I can do your job, but just to give them an idea that I'm paying attention to what they're doing and that I'm asking for a particular approach. And it gives you confidence as a filmmaker. I recommend it to any young filmmaker starting out, is just try everything. Try recording sound, try shooting, try lighting, try a bit of everything, except maybe acting. But if you can get your head around all those different disciplines, you don't feel quite so at the mercy of your crew. And there's an interesting relationship as a director between yourself and the people who work for you on set, which is they're looking to you for leadership and guidance. And I think they also want to feel like you care about their job. And I think one of the ways of showing somebody that you care about their job, you know, is to know about it and be able to engage in a conversation with the sound department about microphones and which microphones they're using and things like that.
Next, which movie actually inspired Christopher Nolan?
I've been greatly influenced by filmmakers of the past, hugely. I always point to George Lucas's first Star Wars film as a seminal influence on me. It was the first film that I remember that really just opened up the possibilities of what you could do with movies. Ridley Scott has always been a tremendous influence on me. I've loved the worlds he's created, the textured quality of those things. Terrence Malick is a huge influence, and Stanley Kubrick is a filmmaker that I've always greatly admired, although he's one that's difficult to try and imitate or learn too much from specifically, but as an inspiration, just as a great genius of cinema. And then more recently, specific to Dunkirk, I think, the cinema of Alfred Hitchcock, Clouseau, filmmakers working in the suspense genre were very important to me. I've also been very influenced by silent filmmakers. I go back to the work of Fritz Lang and Murnau, von Stroheim, those visions, those ideas of what movies could do before dialogue came in, before contemporary narrative structures sort of came in. I find going back to that older form of storytelling in movies to be very inspiring.
Last but not least, Nolan sends a message to graduate. This is not just for filmmakers, anyone who is looking to make a progress in the futures.
And in the great tradition of these speeches, generally what happens is the speaker says something along the lines of, you need to chase your dreams. But I'm not going to say that because I don't believe it. I don't want you to chase your dreams, I want you to chase your reality. And I want you to understand that you chase your reality not at the expense of your dreams, but as the foundation of your dreams. It's very, very important that you take the elevated position that you have achieved over these 4 years, the advantages that this fantastic education has conferred on you, and you do everything you can with it to improve the world, to improve reality. In whatever field you're going off to work in, I think looking at fundamentals, looking at how people are really affected by what you do, I think you have limitless potential.
Before you go, feel free to share your project you're working on, and so we can support each other's work. And I would like to know what you're working on right now too. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck with the filming. I'm your hero. See you in the next one.